Friends, let's understand what is cancellation of GST. What is meant by cancellation of registration? Cancellation of GST registration simply means that the taxpayer will not be a GST registered person anymore. He will not be liable to pay or collect GST. Now, let's understand how can the GST registration be cancelled. First, for cancellation of GST registration, the taxpayer can request himself. The conditions are as follows. First, where the turnover of his business is less than 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs depending upon the location of the business, where his business has been discontinued or transferred, where there is a change in the constitution of business, and any other case. Cancellation of GST registration can also be done by proper officer. The conditions are as follows. First, composition dealer has not furnished return for 3 consecutive tax periods. Second, it is requested by the taxpayer. GST registration can also be cancelled by the legal heirs of the taxpayer in the case of death of the taxpayer. What will happen once the GST registration is cancelled? First, the taxpayer cannot collect and is no longer required to pay GST. Second, there will be no requirement of furnishing any GST return. Third, for certain businesses, registration under GST is mandatory. If the GST registration is cancelled, the business is still continued, it will mean an offence under GST and hence penalty will be applicable. Now let's understand the procedure for cancellation of registration by proper officer. First, if the proper officer has reasons to cancel the registration of a person, then he will send a show cause notice to such person in form GST Reg 17. Second, the person must reply in form GST Reg 18 within 7 days from the date of service of notice why his registration should not be cancelled. Third, if the reply is found to be satisfactory, then the proper officer will drop the proceeding and pass an order in form GST Reg 20. If the registration is liable to be cancelled, the proper officer will issue an order in form GST Reg 19. The order will be sent within 30 days from the date of reply to the show cause notice. Now let's understand the proviso of section 29 subsection 1 of CGST Act with effect from 1st of February 2019. During the pendency of proceedings relating to cancellation of registration filed by the registered person, the registration may be suspended for such period and in such a manner as may be prescribed. Application for cancellation of registration to be filed in form GST Reg 16, including therein the following details. Details of inputs, semi-finished, finished goods held in stock on the date on which cancellation of registration is applied. The tax liability thereon. The details of the payment, if any, made against such tax liability. Application for cancellation of registration shall be made at a common portal within a period of 30 days of the occurrence of the event warranting the cancellation. For cancellation of GST registration, we have to choose services on the GST portal wherein we will find an option registration in which there is an option like application for cancellation of registration. Cancellation of GST registration by proper officer, section 29 subsection 2 of CGST Act. The proper officer may cancel the registration of a person from such date, including any retrospective date as he may deem fit, where first, the person has contravened the provisions of the Act or rules, or second, section 10 composition dealer has not furnished return for 3 consecutive periods, or third, any registered person has not furnished the return for a consecutive period of 6 months, or fourth, a person who has taken voluntary registration has not commenced the business within 6 months from the date of registration, or Fifth, registration taken by means of fraud, willful misstatement, or suppression of facts. What is revocation of cancellation? Revocation means the official cancellation of a decision or promise. Revocation of cancellation of registration means that the decision to cancel the registration has been reversed and the registration is still valid. Let's understand, when is revocation of cancellation applicable? This is applicable only when the tax officer has cancelled the registration of tax person on his own motion. Such taxable person can apply to the officer for revocation of cancellation within 30 days from the date of the cancellation of order. Now let's understand the procedure for revocation. A registered person can submit an application for revocation of cancellation in Form GST Reg 21 if his registration has been cancelled suo motu by the proper officer. He must submit it within 30 days from the date of service of the cancellation order at the common portal. If the proper officer is satisfied, he can revoke the cancellation of registration by order in Form GST Reg 22 within 30 days from the date of receipt of the application. Reasons for registration of cancellation must be recorded in writing. The proper officer can reject the application for revocation by an order in Form GST Reg 05 and communicate the same to the applicant. Before rejecting, the proper officer must issue a show cause notice in Form GST Reg 23 for the applicant to show why the application should not be rejected. The applicant must reply in Form GST Reg 24 within 7 days from the date of service of notice. The proper officer will take decision within 30 days from the date of receipt of clarification from the applicant in Form GST Reg 24.